Imagine walking alone down a dirt road in the middle of the night when the silence feels unnaturally heavy. The moonlight's only a few meters ahead. The wind moves through the trees. Everything feels normal until you hear footsteps behind you. You turn around, there's no one there. Then a voice, rough, deep, almost inhuman, whispers your name. You quicken your pace. The sound draws closer. Every breath you take echoes as if someone else is breathing with you. And when you finally look back again, you see it. A tall figure, distorted by the darkness. And where its head should be, only a massive mouth, wide open, starving. No eyes, no face, only teeth. The question is simple, but the answer may cost you your life. What would you do if you discovered that the forest is hungry and walks on two legs? Brazilian folklore is vast, wild, and deeply connected to the land itself. Before cities, before roads, before artificial lights cut through the night, there were stories passed only by voice, stories created to explain fear, loss, and the things that could not be understood. Among these stories, few are as disturbing as the legend of the Gorjala. Unlike folkloric figures known for mischief or deception, the Gorjala does not teach, does not protect, and does not warn. It hunts. Accounts of this creature come mainly from rural regions and dense forest areas, linked to old trails, forgotten roads, and paths where people used to disappear without explanation. Its name changes from region to region, but the description remains chillingly consistent. A tall, thin, humanoid entity with long arms and no head. In its place, a colossal mouth sits atop the body, opening vertically, filled with uneven teeth capable of crushing bone. Some say the mouth opens down to the chest. Others claim it stretches all the way to the abdomen. The Gorjala doesn't need eyes. It feels, it smells fear. It senses the heat of living flesh. It detects the vibration of footsteps from those who try to flee. For ancient communities, this creature was not just a legend, it was a warning. Don't walk alone at night. Don't cross certain paths. Don't challenge the silence of the forest. Because not everything that lives in the woods is an animal, and not everything that walks like a human is human. They say the Gorjala doesn't appear suddenly, it announces itself. It begins with a strange sensation, as if the air itself grows heavier. The sounds of the forest fade, insects stop singing, birds fall silent. It's as if nature itself is holding its breath. In older accounts, travelers claimed to feel pressure in their chest, an unexplainable anxiety, seconds before hearing it. A low sound, slow, rhythmic, almost like a stomach growling, mixed with a muffled snarl. Those who hear it for the first time don't recognize the danger. They think it's an animal, a distant cow, a strange wind. That mistake is often the last one they make. The Gorjala moves with long, heavy steps, yet surprisingly quiet for its size. It doesn't run. It doesn't need to. It knows that in the forest, panic does the work for it. Some reports claim the creature feeds mainly on solitary travelers, hunters, and people who stray too far from known paths. Others say it prefers those who are emotionally fragile, people burdened by guilt, fear, or regret, as if the Gorjala doesn't consume only flesh, but despair. There are stories of men who tried to confront it. None of them end well. Bullets don't stop it. Knives don't wound it. It doesn't bleed like a living being should. What terrifies most isn't just its grotesque appearance, but the way it behaves. Survivors describe that as it approaches its victim, the Gorjala leans forward, as if it's listening. And then, slowly, the mouth opens. The sound of grinding teeth echoes through the forest, a noise so loud it seems to vibrate inside the bones. That's when many realize there is no escape. Some say running only hastens the attack. Others claim standing still may delay the inevitable. There is an old belief, passed down through generations, that the Gorjala is drawn to those who break the forest as invisible pacts, disrespecting the land, killing for cruelty, or mocking ancient stories, as if the creature were an executioner. A living punishment. In certain villages, residents swear they heard screams echo through the night. Screams that didn't sound entirely human, yet didn't belong to any animal either. By morning, nothing was found. No bodies, no signs of struggle. only deep marks in the ground, as if something heavy had stood there for a while, and then moved on. Most disturbing of all, according to some versions of the legend, the Gorjala doesn't kill immediately. It plays, it circles, it advances and retreats. It lets fear ripen, because for it, the greater the terror, the more delicious the meal. There is a point in every account of the Gorjala where the story changes its tone. Up until then, doubt still exists. Fear, a fragile hope that it's all just imagination. But then, the encounter happens. The survivors, few, incredibly rare, say the final moment always begins the same way. The path ends. The trail vanishes. The road seems to close in. The forest grows too dense to move forward, and then the sound stops. No more footsteps behind you. No more breathing. The forest begins to sing again. It is in this false silence that the Gorjala appears. It emerges slowly, as if materializing from the darkness itself. Too tall to be human, emaciated, with long arms hanging beside its body. And at the top, the mouth, open, not a scream, not a roar, only the sound of teeth adjusting, grinding as if the creature is preparing itself. Some accounts say that at this moment, the Gorjala leans forward, not to attack, but to smell. It recognizes who you are. It recognizes your fear. And then, something even more disturbing happens. The mouth speaks, not in complete words, but in distorted sounds, echoes of human voices mixed together, as if it carries fragments of everything it has ever devoured. Whispers, ancient screams, names, your name. That is the moment when many freeze, others fall to their knees. Some try to run and disappear into the forest. Those who survived say they didn't escape through strength or speed. They escaped by chance, a stumble from the creature, a distant noise that pulled its attention away, or, according to ancient belief, because the Gorjala had already fed enough that night. Because once it decides you are its next meal, there is no prayer, weapon, or plea that can stop it. When the mouth closes, the sound echoes through the forest like a muffled thunderclap. And then, nothing. The forest swallows everything. Perhaps the Gorjala is not just a monster. Perhaps it is the raw reflection of human fear in the face of the unknown. The embodiment of a forest that was never tamed, of a night that does not belong to us. In Brazilian folklore, creatures like the Gorjala appear where humans believe they are in control, but aren't. They remind us that there are places where we are not welcome, and paths that should never be crossed. The absence of a face may not be a coincidence. Without eyes, it does not judge. Without expression, it feels no mercy. It simply consumes, like nature itself when it is pushed beyond its limits. Perhaps that is why, even today, people in rural regions avoid certain paths after sunset. Perhaps that is why some trails were never reclaimed, or why certain disappearances were never explained. Because some stories were not created to entertain. They were created to warn. And as long as dark forests exist, forgotten roads, and people who believe they are alone at night, the Gorjala will keep walking, hungry, patient, waiting. And now I ask you, do you think the Gorjala is just a legend, or something created to keep people away from places that should never have been explored? If you know similar stories, regional accounts, or have heard of creatures from the forest, leave a comment, but think carefully about what you write. If you enjoy mysteries, dark folklore, and stories that exist between legend and reality, subscribe to Urban Secrets, because here, we don't just tell old stories, we reveal what may still be out there. Until the next Urban Secret.